Does your Windows 11 PC take forever to become usable after you sign in? You may have too many apps starting automatically in the background. In this video, I'll show you exactly where Windows 11 manages startup apps, what you should keep enabled, what you can safely disable, and how to avoid turning off something important. I'm Jerry Rawlick, and this is Wandering Through Windows. Startup apps are programs that Windows launches automatically when you sign in. Some open a window, while others run quietly in the background. You might see apps such as OneDrive, Teams, Discord, Spotify, Adobe Utilities, or hardware software starting automatically. These can be convenient, but every application that starts with Windows can potentially use memory, processor time, disk activity, and network resources. Windows 11 makes startup apps relatively easy to manage. Open Settings, select Apps, and then choose Startup. Here you will find applications that Windows has identified as startup applications. Each one has an on or off switch. If an app is set to on, Windows can launch it automatically when you sign in. If it's off, Windows won't automatically start it, but the application remains installed and you can still launch it whenever you need it. Changing a startup application is as simple as switching its toggle. Let's say you have a music app that you use occasionally. There's probably no reason for it to launch every time Windows starts, so switch it off and Windows will leave it alone during startup. But remember, the app hasn't been removed. You can still open it normally from start whenever you want. And if you change your mind, simply return to Startup Apps and switch it back on. There's another useful place to manage startup tasks, and that's the Task Manager. To bring it up, press the Control, Shift, and Escape keys, and then select Startup Apps. Task Manager provides additional information, including whether an application is enabled and its startup impact. You may see ratings such as low, medium, or high. This information is useful when troubleshooting a slow startup, but don't assume that a high-impact application should automatically be disabled. Startup impact tells you about performance. It doesn't tell you whether the application is important. So, what should you leave enabled? The simplest rule is to keep applications running automatically when they provide security, essential hardware functionality, synchronization, or another service you need immediately after signing in. Windows Security and other trusted security software should normally remain enabled. If you use OneDrive or another cloud storage service for continuous synchronization, keeping it enabled usually makes sense. The same applies for hardware utilities that provide features you rely on, such as special keyboard controls, touchpad functionality, or peripheral settings. But don't assume that every Microsoft or manufacturer application needs to start automatically. Consider what the application does. Applications that you only use occasionally generally don't need to start automatically. That can include music applications, game launchers, messaging apps you rarely use, creative software launchers, update assistants, and manufacturer promotional utilities. For example, if you only play games on weekends, there's a little reason for your game launcher to start every time you sign in. The same applies to applications you use only occasionally. Start them when you need them, instead of having Windows start them for you. Keep security, essential hardware utilities, cloud synchronization, and backup software enabled when you rely on those services. Consider disabling applications that you rarely use or don't need immediately after signing in. And if you don't recognize an application, don't randomly disable or uninstall it. First, find out what it does and who published it. Finally, don't try to disable everything just to make Windows start faster. The goal isn't to have the fewest startup apps possible. The goal is to have the right startup apps. That way Windows starts what you need and leaves everything else for when you need it. Thanks for joining me, and be sure to tune in again when we do another Wander Through Windows. Don't forget to check out the next video above, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. Bye for now.